Hello everybody, it is I, your favorite VTuber, Android Arrowhead, and I'm back with more Ace Attorney Ace Attorney 4, Apologize, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so, brief recap. This is 7 years ago, because the lady who we were doing the actual trial with fainted, and she was also the one who forged the evidence used in the trial that we are currently in, which was 7 years ago, which is now. And, let's see, alright, so basically, I'm currently Phoenix, this is when he lost his license. This is my client, his name is Shady, which should have been a dead giveaway that this is a problem. He is Trucy's daughter. No, Trucy is his daughter. He is her dad. He was his boss and mentor, who is now dead because he was shot in the head. Probably not by him, but probably by actually this guy, who I'm currently cross-examining, who is also her uncle, who is probably not actually his uncle, just in the same way that Phoenix is not actually her dad. Also, Gumshoe's here. It's just nice to see him again. I like Gumshoe a lot. I think he's great. Yeah, that's where we're at. Anyway. That night I visited the hospital room at the time Magnifi requested. The smell of gunpowder hung in the room and my mentor had taken his final bow. Well, he didn't really bow. He was in a hospital bed, but I did not imagine my fellow student might have received the same instructions. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave to the clown. Then I informed the police, then I informed the doctor and the police. So you were the one who reported the crime. Indeed. I would think this fact alone would clear my name of suspicion. Not really, self-reports are apparently very common, from what I understand. Let's not jump to any conclusions. Yes, the cross-examination generally comes before the conclusions in this court. What do you mean, generally? When is that? Are there times where you just decide things before they do the cross-examination? And why? Well, alright, whatever. Let's just keep going. But if your testimony proves to be true, then the defendant, Zach Gramarye, is guilty. And if it wasn't Zach Gramarye, then the killer was you, Valent. Even your cool cane twist can't get you out of this one. Oh, I didn't even read the line. And no disappearing act will get you out of that. Okay, night of the crime. I believe it. I'm gonna take his final bow. Hold on, let's see. Just to check, because I think they both got notes. And here's I believe this was forged evidence. Or we got it from... Not gonna lie, I kind of forgot who we got it from, but either way, we have it. Zach came at 11:05. Valent came at 11:20. That's true, based on the evidence. Yet a deal with the dead is still a deal. Death's sweet kiss I gave to the clown. I believe he means he's the one that shot the clown as opposed to his mentor, who is the one who is being killed. Also, there's clearly a page torn out of the notebook there, and, yeah. There were 2 bullet holes in the scene. One in the 2 bullet holes at the scene. One in the victim and one in the clown. You're saying the one who shot the clown was you? No doubt my partner Zach had said as much the same thing. Yeah, because whoever didn't shoot the clown committed murder. I better dig around here a bit more, see what I can turn up. Mr. Valent, let me ask about something else concerning the crime scene. Namely... Not the bullet, because we already know that, well, the bullets were for the guns or whatever. The number. The number, if he says 2, that means there's a problem. How many pistols were there when you entered the room? By which you mean what, precisely? 2 pistols were used in the Zach and Valent quick draw shoot-'em, correct? Okay, chat. The audio seems fine. One for each of you. You are well informed, yet only one of my old friends sat in the hospital room that night. What did Zack tell me back in the lobby? I don't know. Of course, I had no intention of shooting my mentor. I snuck into his room that night at the appointed time. Found there upon his bedside table 2 pistols. I took the pistol I had fired and placed it in my pocket. Okay, so that actually tracks with everything else we knew. Shit. I see no problem with that statement. Only one pistol is visible in the photograph of the crime scene, after all. So you picked up that pistol and fired it? Indeed I did. Alakazam, alakazing, alakaboom. Don't say Dragon Quest spells at me. They're not Dragon Quest spells, but whatever. Anyway. Is the number of pistols really so important? No, actually, not really. Actually, let me ask about something else. Very well. The witness may continue with the testimony. What can I do but obey? Okay, well, let's try this one again. Probably selected the wrong option. The number of pistols wasn't really important. The location. Where exactly was the pistol when you entered the room? Atop a small bedside table it was, as if to say, here I am, take me into your hand, pull my trigger, shoot him. The victim clearly wanted to be shot. So does that make it not a crime? But why? Perhaps he wanted to go out with a bang? Well, I mean, it was worth a shot. Yeah, I can do it. I can also do it. Yet we will never hear the truth from his lips, so all we can do is guess. Is the location of the pistol all that important? Also, not particularly important, no. Actually, let me ask something else. Ask about something else. Okay, so in other words, I picked the wrong option twice. What can I do but obey? Yeah, hold on. Nope, you, back here. There. I guess about the bullet, then. In order to shoot a pistol, you need a bullet. Where was the bullet? I entered the room and took the pistol in my hand. The bullet was already loaded, ready to fire at any time. A magician is always prepared, you see? Prepared for... One never knows when a miracle will be called for. A magician always has 7 doves in his pocket and a white rabbit up each sleeve. How many doves you got on you right now? And would you be willing to part with any of them? Is this bullet that was loaded in the pistol really so important? Also, no. Man, I am 0 for 3 on this one, huh? Alright, let's see. None of that really contradicts any of the info we have. Hold on, let's just... I'll press them from the beginning, something might turn up. Which, according to the letter, was 11:20 p.m.? Indeed. In magic, timing is everything. Right. Consider the illusion of teleportation. If I were to appear on stage before my stunt double has left, how would that look? Why, it would reveal the very secrets of my magic! Now that you've revealed the very secrets of your magic for all of us, let's move on. Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? You went at the designated time, and what did you see? So, you weren't worried for your own safety at all? I mean, you smelled gunpowder, yes? What if the shooter was still nearby? Okay, yeah, good point. I did not consider this, to be honest. It is forbidden for a magician to have a good imagination. No, let's work through this for a moment. What the hell does that mean? Really? Isn't magic all about illusions and imagination? How about this? You were the shooter, which is why you weren't afraid. It's totally this guy, oh my god. Now you are the one imagining! It is forbidden for a lawyer to have a good imagination. The witness will refrain from pausing so suspiciously before responding. Yeah, I know pausing is not a crime, but... let's be real. This guy did it. It's him. It has to be. My forbidden imagination is starting to imagine things. Which brings us back to this reason neither of you could refuse. So it does, and my partner, he did not refuse. But Magnifi wrote the same thing to you. Why could you refuse if Zack couldn't? Because I have a will of steel. Of course. I also do this trick where I bend steel bars, so perhaps steel isn't all that strong. Also strong. So which is it? Mind if I continue? So he shot the clown, he says. But I think it's more likely the clown was already shot when he got there than he shot the guy. And, yeah. Well, let's just press him on this. So you informed the police. What did you do then? What do you suppose I did? I shot my mentor. I left. I used my magic to levitate my mentor's corpse, perhaps? Well, are you willing to do it again? That's pretty cool. I don't know, that's why I'm asking. Well, please answer the question and skip the sarcasm. After I made my report, I called the doctor and we returned to the room. While we waited for the police to arrive, we discussed stomach medicine. While looking at a corpse, well, I guess doctors probably look at corpses a lot, but... we've confirmed this with the doctor. It all checks out. We praised Mr. Valiant's knowledge of stomach medicine, in fact. Alright, cool. Oh, it is an honor I do not deserve, but I accept. Both of Magnifi's students received the same letter. Both admit to having gone to the hospital that night. 2 bullets were fired, and one of them killed Magnifi. Time to find the cracks in his testimony. Okay, so yeah, clearly there is something there on this one. The question is what? Location of the pistols, the number of pistols. We already know that, actually, wait. Yeah, now that I think about it, the number of pistols is suspicious. Why would he have thought that someone else came before him if there was only 1 pistol? He didn't even know the other guy had instructions. Now that I think about it, yeah, that is actually quite important. I was right the first time, goddammit! The number of pistols is quite important, Your Honor. Very well. Please add this detail to your testimony. Now, what can I do with it? Do I present this one? Because I feel like this is the right answer, but I don't know. Because if Zack came earlier, he wouldn't have known, and he said he didn't know that Zack also got instructions. So... This is concurrent with that, but he doesn't know... There we go. Okay, so I was right the first time. Nice. Alright. According to the defendant, Zack Gramarye, when he entered the room, there were 2 pistols on that table. 2? Oh, wait, a friend of mine would want me to do this meme, so, 2? Anyway. One of those pistols he used to shoot the clown in the forehead. Then he left with it in his pocket. Of course, this is what he would say. Unlike the hapless clown, we must assume our defendant has some brains in his head. Well, what about Mr. Valent has told us? You see, there's something about his testimony that doesn't make sense. What might that be? I told you I took the pistol that was there and shot the clown. That's your story, at least. But the rifling marks tell a very different story, Mr. Valent. Recall what Prosecutor Gavin told us. We compared the bullet taken from the victim's skull with the bullet fired from this gun. The rifling marks on the bullet were a perfect match. Ah! Mr. Valent, if you fired this pistol, then you shot the victim in the forehead. Order! 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 Well, this is all rather sudden. Hehehehe, laughs in German. What have I done? Prosecutor Gavin? I owe the court an apology. Sorry. Sorry for what? You see, I was unaware that 2 of these unique pistols were crafted. The analysis of the rifling marks only proves the type of guns that fired them. Oh my god. But that's not what you told us before. You said you'd verified the murder weapon. Which is why I'm apologizing to you now, quite sincerely, I might add. Would you hold me accountable for a mistake made in my use? Fine, whatever, let's move on. That was just this morning! I am still young. And I might add, it wasn't really my fault. Whatever, dude, let's just move on. If the defendant had only admitted he took 1 pistol from the scene of the crime, we would not be having this pleasant discussion now. Valid, Gramarye? Yes, Your Honor. You were presented to this court as a decisive witness, but you've proven to be more divisive than decisive. Oh! The judge fucking got him!
I'm really feeling it!
Yeah.
Objection!
Oh boy. You'll see in time. The testimony so far has merely been a review of the facts. That's how testimonies are, yeah. The proof comes next. Care to elaborate, Prosecutor Gavin? When Mr. Valent entered the hospital room, the victim had already been shot. As his next testimony will prove, alright, the real fight is about to begin. Bring it. They don't call me Phoenix Fight for nothing. They do, actually. Actually, probably for Capcom, Marvel's Capcom 3, that's true, but... Very well, the witness will now testify to the court. Help us determine who shot what. Mr. Burns? Who shot Santa Claus, I think is a song. Who shot what? I arrived in the hospital room at the appointed time, which is to say 11:20 p.m. After discovering the body, I fulfilled my obligation, then called in the doctor. The doctor examined the body before the police arrived. It was quite clear about the time of death, 11:10 p.m. And the one in the room at that time was my partner, not me. Can you determine time of death that quickly after a body died? Those times are rather close, you have to admit. You're talking about an alibi established over a matter of minutes. To use a 10-minute discrepancy as the basis of your alibi is easy to explain in this situation, Herr Judge. For example, take our debut hit single, 13 Years Hard Time for Love. I feel like it is entirely possible to go to prison 13 years hard time for what one would quantify as love. But let's move past that for a moment, and ideally forever. to the song, press the play button and it will play for 2 minutes 15 seconds. What is it, like a K-pop song? Why is it so short? Do it 100 times, the result is the same. Because it's a song? Debut single was only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long? What a ripoff! Because see, Phoenix respects the whole, like... Well, I'm guessing the 4-minute song meta. I still think 4 minutes is like a good length for a song. 4.5, like... 3:30 is low, but I'll take it. I think 2 minutes, like, it's good, sure, but like... I don't know. I feel like sometimes you'll be getting into the groove and then the song will be over, you know? Oh, whatever. Magic is a world of utmost precision. Hocus Pocus requires admirable focus. And in the time of death determined by the doctor, there is an it is truth. Incontrovertible truth. Hold on, what's the autopsy report say? In other words, estimated time of death is between 11 and 11:30. Very well. The prosecution warns us that we're dealing with rather precise times, and we can expect the cross-examination to require the same level of precision. Hey, Jiminenza, welcome to the stream. How you doing? How you doing? I would hope the defense refrains from its customarily broad, sweeping accusations, lest we blur the focus this case so clearly demands. Point taken. Baseless remarks will result in a penalty. They always do. Why are you saying that's a new thing? Carry on, Mr. Wright. Carry on? Right. Which is who I am. Who shot what? 11:20 p.m. You know, I'm doing just fine. Thanks for asking. Doctor examined the body before the police arrived. Quite clear of the time of death, 11:10 p.m. Okay.
Objection!
Fuck. It could be 11:10, but it could also be... yeah, I got it. I messed up. I got it. Let's move on. I must be on the wrong track. Okay. Clearly it's not as much of a slam dunk as I thought it would be. I don't think I'm stepping out on a limb to say I have some doubts about this. How could the doctor be so precise with the time? We do usually only get an estimated time of death, true, like the one I just presented. Like that one. I'm not sure I've heard of a verified time of death, unless someone was there to witness it, at which point, then it probably would be verified, but... Magic revels in making the complex appear simple, but the reality is opposite. But reality is the opposite. What appears complex, in this case, is a simple matter of subtraction. I see another person has done their arithmetic homework. Do they still call it arithmetic? The point here is the IV the victim was taking. It's quite visible in the photograph of the scene. Recall what we heard earlier about the victim, Magnifi Grammari's schedule. Every night at 11 o'clock, Magnifi took an IV drip for 30 minutes. I can see the IV bag right there, yes. Now look a little closer. Follow the tube down from the bag to the end. Ah, the needle's been removed. Doubtlessly, it fell out when he was shot. Okay. I feel like it'd be weird for it to fall out of his arm when it was shot in the head, but that would seem to be the case. When the needle comes out, the IV no longer drips. Ah, you could just measure the remaining IV liquid. Precisely. The IV liquid functions, for our purposes, as an hourglass of sorts. I had a new experience on Netflix today because I've never seen a warning for an episode of any series before. Oh, really? What kind of warning, and also what series? This is how the doctor determines the time of death. From the amount remaining in the bag, it was determined that the IV had stopped 10 minutes after the administration began. IV report added to the court record. And so it was. When I, Valent, entered the room, 10 minutes had passed since that horrible crime was committed. And this is proof. Well, Mr. Wright? Does that seem important? Yes. Probably. Well, seeing how it is the biggest clue we have to the time of death, I'd say it's very important. Agreed. It would be hard to imagine a more precise way to determine the time. Behold the power of arithmetic! The power math, people! Very well. The witness will add this detail to his testimony. Sometimes the most magical thing of all is opioids. It's the truth. Life swings on eternal. The remaining IV liquid proves my innocence. Unless has been washed and shows no signs of use. I feel like that's gonna come up later, but I feel like there's a way to disprove that. Somehow, but I just don't have it yet. When it says there was school violence. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see why that would be a thing to bring up. Did the doctor say anything concerning the cause of death? Why, yes. I believe he screamed, "My God, he's been shot in the head!" It doesn't take a doctor to notice that. I probably would have screamed the same thing. And I would have pinned the requiems that arose in my soul at that horrid sight. Whatever happened to a good old-fashioned investigation? Well, Phoenix, technically you're not a detective, and neither are they. Just gonna put that one out there. In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right moments, Herr Attorney. May I remind you that baseless remarks will earn penalties. I know! Well, they didn't do that for episode 1, though, because in the first 6 minutes of episode 1, that also happens in a classroom. Oh. Huh. Maybe it's a new thing they're trying out, so they're just putting it on, like, things that they happen to find. But, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense to put content warnings there, but... Especially if they kind of, like, seem similar to real-life things. But I guess technically you could say that about most things, but... Alright, who knows. Proceed with that in mind. Yes, Your Honor. What pain this is turning out to be. We already investigated that. Yeah, why did you shoot the clown before you, before you talked to the doctor? Admittedly, I think episode 1 was a college or university. That is a little different, but it's not like stuff like that doesn't happen in universities as well, so... Episode 6 was like a younger school. I mean, I can see the idea there, but like... Huh, that is kind of weird that they would do it for one, but not the other. You walk in the murder, and the first thing you do is shoot the clown? The disciple does what the disciple must. My mentor's request, without reason, had caused for me a surfeit of sorrow. A surfeit of sorrow. What? Sir, I'm guessing surfeit means like a lot. I don't know. What would I, Valent, be now without him? May the soul of Magnifi the Great find greater peace above. This I muttered to myself as I pulled that lonely trigger. Also, why did the doctor not hear the gunshot this time? In any case, I believe this is nothing more than what we have already learned. I'm still waiting for one of those right... Well, I know you're waiting for right moments, and that basic remarks will earn me penalties. I got it! I understand! Okay. Which means the IV bag is probably the thing to look at here. Did you notice the IV yourself, by any chance? When first I entered that room, the stench of gunpowder assailed me. Next, the mark of death upon my mentor's forehead. And then his left arm did I spy a rose drooping and wilted. Its thorn, the discarded IV needle. Knocked from the vein by the force of the shot. Luckily for you. If that IV had not been there, why, you might have been a suspect. Indubitably so. I might say it's thanks to my lucky color. Your lucky color? Indeed. Even today I wear it proudly upon my suspect self. For it always, without fail, brings me luck. Why, when Zack and Valiant won their first Magicians Grand Prix, yes, the very one held by the Association of International Magicians, I was adorned in this attire then too. And our trophy? A bust. Ah, what a day it was. This is one trip down memory lane no one needs. My lucky color, yes, indeed, and that IV too. I say I think it was who used especially for me, Valiant, but they're different colors though. The IV was green and he was yellow. Thoughts on this testimony? Valiant sure looks happy with himself. About this lucky color testimony. Certainly sounds like your lucky colors brought you plenty of luck, but not this time. Mr. Valiant, your lucky colors betrayed you. I'm afraid you've lost me. Your Honor, the witness's testimony just now clearly contradicts the evidence. What? Please recall my warning at the beginning of this cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Baseless accusations will be duly penalized. I do hope that this accusation is well-based. This latest accusation is well-based. Goddamn, I cannot read today. Or any day for the most part, but disregard that. Okay. Don't worry, I've got all your bases right here. Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. Very well, let's hear the defense's claim. Where is your evidence that contradicts what Mr. Valiant has told us? The IV is green. The crime scene tells all, Your Honor. The photo of the crime scene? All this talk of color has me yearning for black and white, clear-cut simplicity. Tell us, Airwright, just where is the contradiction in this photo? My pleasure. And I assure you, it's quite simple. I assure you, it's quite based. But I can't promise anything in black and white. 'Cause I'm not colorblind! Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What in this photo contradicts the witness's testimony? Valiant Gramarye, let's get one thing straight about your lucky color. It's yellow, yes? Kinda takes the mystery out of it, but yes. Something wrong with yellow, Mr. Wright? Yes. You see, Your Honor, I'm incredibly racist. No. Yes, there is. Decisively wrong, in fact. Take another look at the photo of the crime scene. What's this? Confusion, doubt? Tell us. What do your elderly eyes spy? I also could have made a joke about him being the Green Lantern, but... Actually, yeah, that would have been way funnier. Shit. Well... I turned a joke that could have been about a beloved comic book hero into racism. That's just something I'm gonna have to live with. Anyway. Even my elderly eyes can see a problem here, Mr. Valiant. Look at that IV bag. Ack! What is this? What foul magic? It would be hard to call the IV liquid yellow. And I'm afraid no magic was involved in the taking of this photograph. What if it was photoshopped? I looked because I'm the well, there are the doves. What does this mean? This is some kind of mistake. Didn't notice with your shades on? Is that why you don't wear them in the future? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin. Your witness's mistake. The greener they are, the harder they fall. Sure. The greener they giant, the harder they vegetable. I suppose there's no substitute for experience. Valiant Gramarye, as you reminded us several times, your lucky color is yellow, but the IV is clearly not. Well, this contradiction can mean only one thing.
Objection!
You're colorblind. And to think, you almost had me. I see your true colors now, Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright. He knows I'm the Green Lantern. Something you'd like to tell us, Prosecutor Gavin? As far as this court can tell, the witness's testimony does contradict the evidence. Yes, a contradiction. One that I shall be pleased to hand right back to Mr. Wright. How do you mean? How? Because the witness has made no mistakes. I agree, at a glance the IV liquid does appear sort of greenish yellow. I'd say it's definitively green. But I assure you the liquid itself is quite yellow. But how would he know? Yellow liquid? How could you say that? Oh, because the bag is blue and then... Alright. As far as I can tell from this photo, it's green. Yes, but what color is the IV bag itself? The bag? You mean the plastic bag on the hook? It looks like, I want to say light blue? Precisely. Figured it out yet? But a yellow liquid in a blue bag, and it looks like pee. You get green. This, incidentally, is the liquid's true color. But how would he know that if he wasn't there when it was being put in? I see. Your explanation does have the ring of truth to it. Also, wouldn't a hospital have security cameras? As I thought, there's no substitute for experience, Prosecutor Gavin. But you may tell a good tale, but you've just proven something rather grave. For you, that is. Right moment. Grave? Grave. The liquid in the IV is yellow, yes. But how did this witness know that? It's quite unnatural when you think about it. You did think about it, didn't you? Your Honor, the defense requests an explanation from the witness. At the scene of the crime, the IV liquid appears to be green. So let me ask, how did the witness know the IV liquid was actually yellow? Oh, it's playing the music. Da, 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 da. Order! Mr. Wright, you will explain this at once. The witness clearly knew the color of the IV liquid, so I'm sure it means something, but what? I can think of only one possibility, Your Honor. The witness, Valiant Gramarye, has testified that the IV liquid was yellow because... Well, not this. Maybe he'd seen it before, but he knew the IV liquid's color. He'd seen it before is probably the right one. From the facts before us, the answer is clear. The witness knew that the IV liquid was yellow. Why? Because he'd seen it before. But not inside the blue bag we see in the photo. He saw the liquid by itself, in a clear, colorless bag. I suppose he would have had to, but I'm not clear as to what all this means. Ask yourself, why would he know if he didn't work at a hospital? That's where you'll find your meaning, Your Honor. I'm afraid I find nothing, so what if he knows the IV liquid's color? Leaves getting excited over absolutely nothing to our teeny bopper fans, yeah? The IV liquid is the only evidence proving the time of death. A 30-minute hourglass with a 20 minutes worth of sand remaining. Your claim, Prosecutor Gavin. I remember it well. Yeah, it happened like 10 minutes ago. However, there's a critical difference between an hourglass and an IV bag. Wait, I know. One is sand, the other one doesn't. An hourglass uses... Oh, wow, shit. Actually, that was the joke. An hourglass uses sand, but an IV bag uses liquid. I swear to God, I can see the future sometimes. I'm right, right? Okay, yeah, you are correct, but not in the way we needed you to be. As much as it pains me to say this, Your Honor, no. Unlike the sands through an hourglass, IV liquid enters the patient's body. At which point, like magic, it disappears. Well, it doesn't disappear, it gets used up by the body, but I see your point, yeah. However, what if the amount of IV liquid has increased? You couldn't tell, could you? After all, there's no way of knowing how much went in. Let me get this straight, right? You're saying the witness watered down the victim's IV bag? Not with water, but with IV liquid. That's how you knew the IV liquid was yellow. Now wait, I said wait! How might an amateur such as myself essay to perform such a task? I'm an amateur too, but I can pour water into a cup. I've been doing it all my life. I'm afraid there's quite a big difference between a cup and an IV bag. Quite. Well, you just use a syringe, really. Can you prove our witness is capable of such a feat? He has a point, amateurs. I, at least, would have some difficulty pouring an IV liquid into that bag. You don't need to be an expert to see the look on the witness's face. He added liquid to that IV to throw off the time of death. I'm tired of these fairy tales lacking evidence. Well, Mr. Wright, any solid evidence to bring us back down to earth? Valiant Gramarye. I'm afraid your magic won't serve you well in a life of crime. Might I ask what you're strongly suggesting? Magic relies on props, and props become evidence. Our witness was certainly able to increase the amount of IV liquid in the bag. All he had to do was work a little magic, and the prop was the syringe! A victim's syringe? It's the perfect prop for the magically increasing IV trick, and easy enough for an amateur to use. I am very curious as to how Phoenix is going to lose this one, because clearly we've seen Valiant walking around normally outside in the future. And, well, we know how all this kind of ends up, so we'll see. What kind of evidence was that? The syringe was clean, not a trace of liquid in it. And don't you find that odd, Prosecutor Gavin? What? The victim had the syringe to administer his insulin shots. There should have been traces of insulin left inside. Well, Valiant Gramarye, as you pointed out yourself, the IV liquid makes the perfect clock. One that you could manipulate at will. Alak! Alakazam! How many doves did he have? Goddamn, that was like 10 total, at least. I do believe, well, with this being his first, that the burden of this trial has been a bit too much to bear for Prosecutor Gavin. I'm afraid that, while there is a doubt as to the amount of IV liquid in that bag, the time of death cannot be proven. And that brings our trial to a close for today. Well, maybe I can squeeze an extra day out of this. I can do a little much-needed investigation work. I see there are no objections to... Oh god, what now? Truly, there's no substitute for experience. Nothing blinds one to the truth so effectively. A word to the wise. Underestimate the young and they'll sweep your feet out from under you. In a way you never ever expected. You see, I know exactly what you're thinking. What's he talking about? You say the witness used a syringe to manipulate the level of IV liquid. But there is no proof. There's no proof he didn't do it. There's no proof he didn't do it either. Yes, quite true. He's admitting it? Nor was this witness quite as decisive as I'd hoped. This I admit. After all, why linger in the past when the future holds so much? You have something in mind, Prosecutor Gavin? Proof, Herr Judge. I have another way to prove my case. This evidence, no less. What's this? This is the victim Magnifi Gramarye's diary. Diary? After going into the hospital, Magnifi began writing his memoirs, it seems. The story of his birth, his startling debut, and of meeting his disciples. It seems he intended for the last chapter to end, quite appropriately, with his death. Wait, that book doesn't say what the reason was, does it? The reason why his disciples couldn't refuse his last request? Sadly, it does not. What's important here is on the last page. Apparently, the victim wrote in his journal that night. Even after the IV vag had begun at 11 PM. Let's read it, shall we? The first should come soon. This journal may end here, but we already have another journal page right here. That's only less than 10 swift minutes remain. To all those who supported me in my life's work, I give thanks. Farewell. But is that the forgery, or is that the real one? This does appear to have been written just before his death. The court accepts this into evidence. Magnifi's diary added to the court record. Reads the very last part of his particular care. This journal may end here or it may go on, but not long. That depends on his hand. And of course, by his, he refers to our defendant, Zach Gramarye. That would make sense, yes. He was the first scheduled visitor after all. But look at what he said before that. This journal may end here or it may go on. It may go on. Magnifi Gramarye intended to write again. That is, if Zach Gramarye didn't pull the trigger. I see the defense understands the meaning of this. The victim's diary does not go on, it ends. Because Magnifi's life was brought to an end by the defendant, Zach Gramarye. Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin! Are you certain that Magnifi Gramarye wrote this? There is no mistaking his handwriting. Well, this does seem to be significant. According to this, Magnifi did intend to continue his diary. Yet, if his diary ended here, which plainly it did, then the one who pulled the trigger was the first visitor, Zach Gramarye. Well, how do you like me now, Wright? Still too green for your tastes? He's right about the diary being pretty clear. Still, I find it hard to believe that he'd overlook such an obvious problem with his precious evidence. Being the page, yeah. Well, Mr. Wright, the witness's testimony we heard was lacking. But put together with this evidence, it seems quite sufficient for a case. If the diary's accepted like this, the trial's over. Maybe it's time for me to show them something. Unfortunately, I think this is where the fake evidence comes in. I'm left with no choice but to show my own evidence. What? You have some evidence that overturns this diary? It's not too late to resync this and avoid more embarrassment. Alright, here's my current theory about the fake evidence. I forgot where we got it specifically in this trial, but I'm guessing he's the one who planted it, or it was his brother. Because he was the defense attorney who later killed the guy who was actually Trucy's dad, then we're taking care of Trucy now, and then it's a whole thing. Very well, please show us your evidence, Mr. Wright. Incidentally, don't even think of showing us this diary I've just shown to the court. I wonder if I get an achievement for doing that. Now that we've come this far, I hope you have something a little more decisive. Show us evidence that proves the victim continued writing his diary. Alright, I'd be happy to. The decisive evidence proving that the diary didn't end with this page is... First, take a close look at this diary. Note that a page has clearly been ripped out. What's this? I hadn't noticed that at all. That's why we're still here talking about this. As it just so happens, I have here what I believe to be the missing page. Alika, I don't believe it! Looking at this page, it's hard to imagine that the first visitor that night shot Magnifi Gramarye. That's the defense's position. Wait! Let me see that! What in Sam Hill? Why, this is the continuation of the victim's diary! But it was a forgery, wasn't it? Note the torn edge of the page. It's a perfect match with the torn remains of the last page in Magnifi's diary. Quite remarkable. Would you care to explain what all this means, Heir Attorney? What do you think it means? The diary continued after his first visitor came, which means that the victim was still alive after Zach Gramarye left, leaving no one to take his life but the second visitor, Valent Gramarye. No! No! Alika, no! The handwriting, too, matches that on the other pages. This is, without a doubt, a genuine article. So where does the fake evidence come in? Order! 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 But wait! That's impossible! That old man couldn't have written that!
Objection!
Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Heir Wright? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Judge? Yes, Prosecutor Gavin? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. But, Prosecutor Gavin, this evidence overturns the current witnesses. I ask only to put it on hold. Please, my new witness has a very, very important piece of testimony to give. 5 minutes, no more. I promise, Your Honor. Well, if you put it that way, Mr. Wright, what's your take on this? Well, Your Honor, judging from his enthusiasm, we'll have to hear this new testimony sooner or later anyway. So it might as well be sooner. Then, though this is highly irregular, even though Phoenix has gotten plenty of extensions of his own through various means, we will put the current cross-examination on hold. The witness may step down. Now, Prosecutor Gavin, please bring in this surprise witness to the courtroom. I had a bad feeling just then. That ripped-out page was too obvious. He must have known. And I should have known it was a bad sign all around. Oh. This guy. Holding a trial with no audience is a first, even for me, Prosecutor Gavin. I beg the court's understanding, but I had to make a judiciary deal with the witness to secure his testimony. A judiciary deal? The details of his testimony may have some legal ramifications, shall we say. I thought it best to contain the information to this room. So wait, are you admitting that you had it forged, or what's the deal here? Because if Phoenix didn't know it was falsified evidence, how is that his fault? Very well. And you are the witness, I gather? Yes, sir. State your name and occupation for the record. My name's Drew Misham. I am a painter. A painter? And you are somehow related to this case? No, well, not per se. I have one simple question for this witness. Mr. Misham, was it? Do you know what this is? Oh, yes. I know it well. How is that possible? Have you seen this diary page somewhere before? Oh, yeah, I mean, I made it. What? What? You made it? Yes, you might call it one of my works. The prosecutor's office received a tip-off yesterday. Illegal evidence has been prepared for the trial of Zach Gramarye. Illegal evidence? I initiated an investigation and found this witness. A painter to the world at large, Drew Misham has another side, you might say. He is skilled in making perfect reproductions of certain things. Forgeries, in other words. Wait, so then why was Clavier so surprised when they brought it up at the trial in the future if he already knew about all this? Forgeries? Well, so we are to understand that this page here is a fake, prepared by a certain defense attorney. What? Yeah, we know Phoenix didn't do it, but like... Hold it! I didn't prepare this evidence! Ah, the attorney speaks. Something about this page, I presume. But what is he saying? It makes no sense. After all, it was you who presented this evidence to us, Phoenix, right? Witness, Mr. Misham, was it? Who requested this forgery? Who was your client? That... I don't know. What? Most of my clients prefer to remain anonymous, even to me. I make the items they want and receive my payment. It's the extent of my contact with them. But... There's no proof this is a fake! It's a fake. Huh? To avoid just this sort of problem, I always put a special mark on my works. I can say without a doubt, this is mine. Okay, but again, we have no proof that you are who you say you are and that this is actually fake. You just say that. Mr. Wright, you've just presented illegal evidence to this court. My court. It was careless of me. That's all I can say. Oh, old boy. It was Trucy that gave it to me. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that part. So Zach probably got it prepared. And then, or maybe Valent? But then why would Valent want it prepared? What's this? I don't know. I just got it over there in the hall. He told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. He said it was really important. It was all a trap. A fatal trap. Mr. Wright? Yes? Do you have an explanation for yourself? If I did, would the court hear it? Probably not. Forging evidence is a serious crime, and presenting it in court a serious mistake. A fatal mistake for an attorney. Fatal too, perhaps, for your client, I fear. Tell me, what kind of defendant relies on forced evidence? The guy who was the previous prosecutor in your position? Well, he also did that in accident, so it's not really his fault, but like, you know. The answer is quite clear. A guilty one.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait! I understand that presenting forged evidence in court is a serious crime, but you cannot hold my client responsible for actions I undertook as an individual. I am sorry, Mr. Wright. Your Honor? Another close call, I dare say. If the prosecutor's office hadn't received that hot tip, everything would have gone the way you wanted it to, yeah? I even gave you a chance. Too bad you decided not to think before embarrassing yourself. I see no need for further discussion on this matter. Special witness dismissed. Damn. Mr. Attorney? Yes. Could I ask your name? Phoenix Wright. Mr. Wright, I've seen and studied many people, but none like you. I remember you, Mr. Wright. Though I deeply regret having to declare a verdict in this way, this trial is over. You have the right to find a new attorney and make an appeal. However, this court must... Oh, Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Zack? There is one thing I wish to make clear. Today, in this courtroom, you cannot declare me guilty. What? It is impossible. I'm afraid the defendant is quite mistaken. I most certainly have the authority to declare a verdict on you. Except... Tell me, how do you plan on announcing your verdict when your defendant does not exist? I'm intrigued, go on. Doesn't exist? What are you talking about? I am talking about this. Mr. Enigmar! The defendant's escaped! Find him, quick! Bailiff, close all exits from the building. On the double! He must not be allowed to escape! Good God. That day, in that courtroom, a miracle occurred. The defendant, Shady Enigmar, aka Zack Gramarye, did not just escape from court. He literally, unbelievably, vanished. Right before the bailiff's eyes. No one ever saw him again. Not since that day. This is the Gramarye miracle! Ah ha 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 ha! No verdict was declared. After all, the defendant didn't exist. Well, he existed, he just wasn't there. That's how it happened. The trial of magician Zack Gramarye vanished, along with him for all eternity. The mysteries that remained behind were all solved, however, but not until 7 years later, which is where we're at now. And I don't really need to save it. It auto-saves, it's fine. Yes. That trial 7 years ago was the beginning of it all. This I know beyond a doubt. The mysteries of the past work their magic on the present. But you'll soon be finding all of this out for yourself. Which of Magnifi Gramarye's disciples pulled that trigger? It was clearly Valen. Where did the vanishing defendant, Zack Gramarye, go? He is now dead. What dark truth lurks behind the forged diary page? I'm guessing that was... yeah. And what about the girl who was left behind? Well, that's clearly Trucy. That's not a mystery. We know who that is. The Mason system. The past left us these 4 keys to unlocking the truth. So we're in a computer, but that's not all. There are 4 keys in the present as well. And when all questions have found their answers, the final trial will begin. But first, you must chase the truth through then and now. Think of it as a game. I, Phoenix Wright, will be your guide through this game. Papa! I like his beanie, yeah. That terrible trial saw me present forged evidence. It ended, half finished, when the defendant vanished. What became of me after that? As your investigation proceeds, the answer will become clear. Oh, and one more thing. There is something I must tell you. As Apollo Justice has his bracelet, so too do I have my own weapon of sorts. Is it the Magatama? Yep, my Magatama. What does it do, you ask? If you haven't played the other games, I'm sure you're wondering. If you have, then I'm going to tell you anyway. That I would have you see for yourself. Well now, shall we begin? Use L, B, and RB to jump between the past and the present. Well, let's begin 7 years ago, in the past. It is right after my last trial came to an abrupt end. Now that you know the game, let's play. Seven years ago, fuck, let's start here, I guess. Go to places any. Interesting way to do the final trial, though. The nightmare trial was over. And the new nightmare of figuring out what had happened had just begun. I wanted to wake up, to walk away. I figured I'm the only one who could do this. Probably. And besides, I had plenty of time. Thanks to the Bar Association Review Board's decision. It's hard to work when your attorney's badge has been taken away. 7 years ago, detention center, visitor's room. What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? 2 men on either side of a single transparent pane. Yet it seems fickle fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these plexiglass confines. There's been no proof that I forged anything, nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano and a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? Shooting of Magnifi Gramarye, for one. Who pulled that trigger? Valant? Or his partner, Zack? His partner vanished before the answer could be found. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. Not much to examine, but I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent. Yes, he made my attorney's badge disappear, and he never even touched it. Glory's spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. Yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zack Gramarye killed Magnifi. It's as good as a signed confession. That's certainly been public's opinions on it. Public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage, and the time of my release is near. I must go and prepare. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away? As long as an audience waits with bated breath, there will be a Valant. There will be Valant. And also, Yes. Now that my partner has disappeared, Magnafy's repertoire is mine. Violent Gramarye has a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Seen in this light, the trial was quite good to me, verdict or no. And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. So yeah, this guy's evil. Suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valent. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow Magnafy's instructions as your partner. So I was, but only Zack Gramarye followed them. Let us not speak any more of who shot what. Now that my partner has vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what Magnafy had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? The trick up his sleeve? Oh, perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Ah. 4, huh? I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in the reflected glow of the spotlight. My Magatama, one of my most prized possessions which I got during a certain case, at this point, 2 years prior? It can show me the locks on people's hearts. And if I can unlock their hearts, they'll tell me their secrets. The Magatama starts it all, and the Magatama ends it. Okay, so yeah. Let's try it for now. I probably can't use it just yet, but we'll see. I can't complete it yet, I should say. May not have the evidence. The trick up his sleeve. I'm flying by the seat of my pants in this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking for someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone to committing murder? My guess is it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier, the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Just to check. Means danger. Let's see. Stage pistol. I mean, could be this? Why, that's one of ours! Specially designed for your show, I gather. A single bullet, one shot. What are you suggesting? We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valent's quick draw shoot 'em. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em cancelled because someone might get hurt? Of course, what other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely, whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on. And this shows who it was. Not gonna lie, don't know who it is. We're fucked. Can I see the other pages? Grouped out page. Now I see that everything has been set up. Also, I would present forged evidence to the court. Anything else on this diary? Alright, unfortunately I don't think I have the evidence for that. I may not have enough evidence right now to pull this off. Maybe it's time to do a little more legwork. Okay, so for now I need to end the inquiry and go somewhere else. Looks like I haven't even unlocked the present yet, so... Let's just go somewhere until I have enough stuff to get that done. Solve it one by one. 7 years ago, District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Didn't think I'd be back here for a while. I didn't want to have to remember that day. Though I deeply regret having to declare a... Yeah, we already got that. Can't declare him guilty. Yeah, he escapes. It just happened. We can move past it. He has essentially evaporated into nothingness. When I came here on that fateful morning, I still had my badge. But now... Yeah, the court record is kinda lonely without the badge in the far left corner like it always is. Like an amputated limb, I can still feel it itching. Where do I start? I don't even have the authority to investigate. Hey, you there, sir. Hey, you there, sir. Down on the hands. Floor on your head. Now, now, now. What's the big idea? My ears. I feel like I've seen this guy before, but I don't remember where. No unauthorized personnel aren't allowed in here. But that would mean all unauthorized personnel are allowed. Doink! I just say it like it is, sir, and it's usually wrong. Thrown out of the precinct, lost my friends, my girl, and even my wallet. Oh wait, was he the guy from fucking, Rise from the Ashes? Was he that guy? Or is that someone else? He seems... I know I've seen him somewhere in Ace Attorney before. We've met before, haven't we? On a case 2 years ago? No recollection of that, sir. Huh? For me, working on a case is always in the present progressive tense, sir. There is no past, there is only now, sir. Okay, you're the bailiff, right? Meekins, right. Yeah. Yes, sir, Court Bailiff Mike Meekins at your service, sir. I've asked to meet with the bailiff at this court who let the magician escape. Let me try to make this as absolutely clear as possible for you, sir. It was me, sir. But you were a regular police officer once, right? Sometimes bad things happen to good people, sir. Something tells me it's a long story. Let's not go there. So, you were in charge of security at the time of the vanishing? I'm dying over here! I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, it's a hard knock life, sir! Thrown out of the precinct! Lost my friends, my girl, even my wallet! Yeah, I got that part. I got it. I wasn't the only victim. Sure. Last time we met, you were a police officer, right? In fact, you're still wearing your uniform. Sir, I wish I didn't have to tell you this, but last year, tragedy struck a rising star at the precinct. I lost my case files 4 times in 3 days, and they fired me. That takes real talent, actually. I don't even know what they're missing. So here I am, sir, forced to start from square one, a lowly bailiff. But your uniform... I took it with me as a souvenir the day I was fired. That can't be legal. So, you were the one who let the magician get away that day. I'm dying over here! A star rises up in Court Bailiffs full of hope, and tragedy strikes! Is there anything you can tell me about it? About Zach Gramery's disappearance? Oh, the humanity! That's enough of that. Why, yes, I'd say it was around 2 PM when I heard a commotion in court. I opened the door to see what might be amiss. The door slams open, slam, and some guy's face is right there in front of me. Face! So you saw someone suspicious coming your way? Yes, and I believe being a bailiff of little standing, I gave chase. I chased that steel cat all the way down the hall, sir. I have a diagram of the court building here. Hi, it's courtroom number 7. That's where I was, sir. All by myself, near a friend to call my own. Okay, and which way did Zach Gramery run after bursting through the courtroom door? He went up, like this, and around the corner, like that. So I, with no delay, ran after him with no delay. When I turned the corner, I saw that magic man run into the defendant lobby. Swiftly I ran. Following him, I threw myself boldly into the room. Why, I remember it like it was right here, because it was. Lobby number 2, sir. You ran into this room? It's not even funny, and I don't know for what reason I'd be laughing at all this, but man, I'm somehow cracking myself up on this one. All right. Oh. Oh, I need to let the stress drain from my vocal cords. I don't see any place to hide in here. Believe it or not, sir, I didn't believe it. Here, in this room, the magician gone, vanished like a puff of smoke. Except there wasn't even any smoke, he was just gone. That's impossible. Yes, that word. Oh, how many times have I heard that word? Even the sound of it causes me indescribable pain. I'm dying. I'm dying over here. Oh, okay, I won't say it again. Promise. But you have to admit, it's difficult to vanish into thin air. Did you search the lobby? I searched. Why the pause? There was nothing here at all, sir. It's right. Nothing was here, sir. How can he talk so loud and still be hiding something? Oh boy. So Zach was in this room when he vanished. Absolutely, sir. I saw him with my own eyes. Eyes! That red silk hat, that flowing cape. You ran right in here, right inside this room. Silk hat, cape, yeah, that's Zach, all right. But sir, look at the room. There's not a single place to hide. Sir, there was nothing I could do, but nothing, sir. What about now? Have any ideas? Sir! What? Are your ideas about what exactly, sir, if you don't mind my asking? You've had quite a bit of time since then. Has nothing occurred to you at all? You have any idea what trick you might have used to disappear like that? Oh boy. Cyclops! I should have known. Tell you what, I'll try to get back to that after I get somewhere else. Wright & Co. formerly law offices. 7 years ago, Wright & Co. law offices. Of which he's the only employee of, and therefore it's not Wright & Co., it's just Wright. Oh, morning, Daddy. I'm so glad you came. You okay, Daddy? They picking on you? Ha 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 ha! I'm fine, as always. This old boy's here to help me, after all. That's young man to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a cute outfit you have on.
Thanks. My finest show's today, after all.
You made my career disappear. 2 weeks had passed since then. I called her into my office. Trucy, there's something I need to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since your father disappeared. We need to start thinking about your future. So she's supposed to have been staying with him and not like a family member? I did some calling around. Okay, that would explain it. This is hard to say, but you have no living relatives. So I was wondering if you wanted to stay with me for a while. Just until your daddy comes home. It won't be long. I hope. Now, of course, it's totally your choice. If you don't like it here, you can go wherever you'd like. I could look up some places you might like to stay at. This is so weird.
Mr. Attorney, Daddy told me about you. He said I could trust you.
Huh? Really?
So if I stay here, does that mean you'll be my family?
Huh? I guess so. Nothing weirder.
Mr. Attorney?
Actually, why don't you call me Nick? Where's Maya during all this? Not that she can, like, take in an orphan or whatever, but... You know, I mean... Where is Maya during all this? Probably at Karain Village. Probably hasn't heard the bad news yet. Or you can call me Daddy if you'd like. It doesn't have to be today or anything. Okay, Phoenix, it's weird to suggest that in general. It's very weird to suggest that immediately upon semi-adopting this child.
Okay, say, Daddy.
That was quick. Yes?
If I move here, I have to switch schools, right? I was thinking, I haven't paid for lunches at my last school for a year. So thanks, Daddy. Oh, and this office? It's a little blah. A little color goes a long way, you know? Oh, and Daddy, you got fired from work, right? Don't you worry one bit. I'll work twice as hard. We'll make it through this.
Trucy, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 8.
Oh, boy. Well, child labor will get us through this.
But don't let appearances deceive you. I'm a young professional. Stick with me and you'll do just fine, Daddy.
Thanks. Why does it feel like she's already in charge? Okay. So I'm guessing when I solve one of these in the past, I unlock a corresponding one in the future that allows me to solve that part of the case. Okay. Sure, the office.
So, Daddy, you got fired for being a lawyer, right?
You could at least kind of look aside or something when you say that. It's actually kind of hard for me. For Daddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Wait, is that foolish pride? My other daddy always used to talk about that.
Actually, that's pretty accurate.
So here's my idea. We'll make a new office. The law just seems so stiff, doesn't it? No one will be my friend at school that way.
Well, that won't do, I guess. I just don't know much about anything other than law. Or even much about law, if you were to ask some people.
Maybe the problem is calling it an office. We should run an agency instead.
You mean like a talent agency? Forgive me for asking, but doesn't that require talent?
You got me, don't ya? I'm a professional.
A professional?
Yep. After all, I'm directly descended from the famous Zach Gramarye.
Directly descended? He's your father.
Oh, and now I'm directly descended from the famous Phoenix Wright, too. Well, you're not descended from me. You're not my child, but sure. Like an 8-year-old just massaged my ego. Could you tell me a bit more about your daddy, Zach Gramarye? Daddy? Sure thing, Daddy. Which daddy was that again? Daddy's so amazing.
Man, my voice can just not hit the pitch at this point.
The biggest star of Troop Gramarye, and they're big.
Gramaryes, they were on television a lot. Haven't seen them on much recently, come to think of it.
Big magic happens when you put Zach and Valiant Gramarye together, you know? Once they made a giant waterfall right there on the stage. And this giant trout swam up the giant waterfall and became a Gyarados.
Let me guess, there was a giant fisherman waiting for him at the top.
I wish I could have seen more of Daddy's magic.
Ah. Shouldn't have brought it up so soon.
Wonder what'll happen to me with Daddy and Mommy both gone.
Mommy?
Yeah, what about Mommy?
I haven't heard anything about Trucy's mother.
But I have my magic, and a great daddy, even if he is unemployed. You know, I think things are going to be okay.
Wonder if she'll talk about her mother. Oh. Her mother might be locked behind a thing, and I'm guessing she's the one who was killed by the trick that got the shoot up thing banned. So, Trucy, you're a professional. You're a professional? Trucy the Professional, it's just a movie about her killing people. While protecting, like, an old man who's just kind of out of work. For those who don't know, there's a movie called Leon the Professional about a guy who's protecting a small child who's an assassin. The guy's an assassin, not the child.
Yes, it's like that thing they say. Baby frogs grow up to be frogs.
What? They say that?
I always thought it was funny, though.
What was?
Aren't baby frogs called tadpoles? Maybe they thought it would be easier to understand that way for kids. How stupid.
Right, so in conclusion, you're a professional magician, Trucy. You're a professional magician, Trucy?
That's right. Well, wanna see a trick?
You're going to do a magic trick? Sure. Actually, I would like to see your trick. The future of the agency depends on it, after all.
That's the spirit. Ready? Here goes. Ta-da!
Oh yeah, Mr. Hat. Hey, folks, it's Mr. Hat. Gotta say, it's good to be seen. Whoa, that was startling.
The amazing Mr. Hat. Isn't he great?
A friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat at your service. He certainly makes an impression.
Doesn't he? I'm so glad you like him, Daddy.
Well, my routines do get a bit heady at times. Ah, get it? Heady? My friendly neighborhood Mr. Hat nearly gave me a heart attack. The amazing Mr. Hat added to the court record. What about her mother? Could you tell me more about your mommy? Or tell me about your mommy, if it's okay?
Mommy was so pretty. She was like an angel up on stage.
On stage? You mean with your daddy?
Yep. She was always there with Zach and Valiant, smiling. But then she went away.
Went away?
It was a grand illusion, but she made a mistake. She vanished. And I guess she didn't know how to get back.
Maybe so.
I cried then, a lot. That's when Daddy gave me this. Here.
A very similar pendant to the one that... Is her mother Lemire? There's no way, right? This is your mother? She's beautiful. No way. No way in hell, right?
Her name's Thalassa. Thalassa Gramarye.
Poor girl. Didn't know her mommy had gone missing. Now her daddy's vanished too, right before her eyes.
Hey, Daddy, you won't...
Don't worry, I won't vanish. I promise.
Right, you can't even do magic. You're like a backup plan.
Ow.
Daddy always said to have a backup plan.
I guess all I rate is as a backup plan. Trucy's locket added to the court record. I think that's probably enough for today. Sorry to ask you so much all at once at a time like that. So much all at once Sorry to ask you so much all at once like that.
It's okay. After all, we're family. I just hope you're ready.
The Right Talent Agency opens tomorrow. What? But are we representing anyone?
Me and you. That makes two, Daddy.
I think you need more than that to make an agency. Besides, you may be a magician, but I'm no talent.
Oh, I'm sure there's something you're good at.
Well, when you put it that way.
You mean you don't have any tricks? No old standbys? This will not do. A boy should always have a trick or two in his pocket.
Okay, I'll think of something.
That's the spirit. See you bright and early tomorrow, Daddy.
Welcome to the team, Daddy-O. Team... Right. Okay, so that clears this level at least. Sometimes when magicians vanish, they leave something behind. That's how Trucy became Trucy Wright. My daughter. To be honest, I was pretty lost those first few days. Thinking back on it, it was a pretty dark time in my life. But Trucy, happy, smiling Trucy, she was my light. So by finishing that in the past, have I unlocked something in the present? No. So in that case, I may have to complete the entire past to unlock the present. Anyway, let's go back to him, because we might be able to figure out something from the thing. Whew. Okay. Pick up his sleeve. We already know the gun was the first part. The second thing being who was killed, I'm going to go ahead and guess. I'm going to guess it was this one. This is Trucy's mother, Thalassa. She's pretty. You can picture her on stage with Zack. Still, she looks like a down-to-earth type, too. I guess Trucy takes after her. But that's... Zack Gramarye's wife, and Trucy's mother. Thalassa, I believe was her name. Alakazam! But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Well, in denial mode, eh? Thalassa was at the greatest risk of being shot. And this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Oh, do I need like a poster of that? Huh. Yeah, if I don't have the Shooting Gramarye's poster, I can't solve this one just yet. Because I remember seeing that where she stood in the middle and then they like fired around her. So in that case, either I solve this one, which I haven't even tried yet, or I just go to Drew's studio. Actually, well, let's go here. Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? Did he turn into Mr. Hat and then the guy just couldn't find him? The disappearing trick. Okay, Mr. Meekins. What do you know? Spit it out. Hey, what's with the atmosphere here all of a sudden? You know something and I'm going to find out. You know something and I'm going to find out what. Zach Gramery vanished from this room. How did he do it? How, sir? Well, sir, I can't say, sir. Why are you so nervous if you aren't hiding something? Well, sir, you see, at the time, sir, I was here and, listen, it was impossible. What could such a little girl possibly do anyway? What did you just say? Yerk, sir, did I just say something, sir? No, you screamed it through that megaphone of yours. There was someone else in the room, wasn't there? Sir, I'm going to have to invoke my right to remain in the state of not talking. It's okay, Meekins. You don't have to tell me who Zach's accomplice was. I know who was here in this room that day. Well, yeah. Who else would it be? Sir, I've never seen that girl until just the other day. Mr. Meekins, I'm not buying it. Sir! Sir, the day she was here in the room, sir. But he wasn't! You mean you chased her into this room, not him? Sir, in my days as a police officer, literally days, I learned a thing or two. Okay, just one thing. But it was how to not mistake a girl for a 7-foot tall magician. That's where Mr. Hat comes in. 7 feet? That isn't that tall, is he? You have a point. I find it hard to imagine that anyone would mistake a little girl for Zach Gramery. But you saw something. And therein lies the trick. I think you know what it was, Mr. Meekins. Tell me, does this trick look familiar? Yep. What's that? That girl's favorite trick. The amazing Mr. Hat. She uses it in her showdown at the Wonder Bar. Have you been to the Wonder Bar? So, it wasn't a waking dream, was it, sir? Come again? At night on stage I saw a vision, except it wasn't a vision. It was a hat. An amazing Mr. Hat! He really exists! Berries! I'm starting to sound like Mr. Crocker from, Fairly Odd Parents. Oh boy. So basically he followed Trucy, not him. I remember clearly, though the details are a little vague, so it's not clear. Zach Gramery exited the courtroom. I gave chase and courted him in the corner room, sir. Zach Gramery, don't even think you could escape Meekins. Down in your hands, float in your head. Hello? Something the matter, mister? No, it is. Sir, I'm currently chasing a suspect, sir. I'm currently chasing a suspect, sir. Zach Gramery, do you know him? I keep expecting her to talk, but it's not her. Oh, I love Zach Gramery. His magic is the best. I'm his biggest fan. I see. That's why you're wearing that costume you're wearing. Anyway, the very same Zach came into this room. But no one's been in here except me. But he has to be in here somewhere. Under the sofa, in the trash can, behind the painting, under the rug. So Trucy was his accomplice. Imagine my astonished surprise when 1 week later, I just happened to walk into a bar and see him. Mr. Hat. I couldn't believe my own eyes. For a while, I thought it had been a long dream. It all had been a long dream. A dream that lasted a week? Must have been a good dream. Or a coma. But it wasn't the magician who disappeared. It was Mr. Hat. Sniffle, sniffle. Though it seems complex, what happened that day was quite simple. So I've already solved functionally the majority of Valent's thing, but I just need the evidence to prove it. You were standing by the door and out came Zack. But that wasn't all. Another person got in on the act, and she was standing in front of lobby number 2. Along with Mr. Hat. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? So... while you are standing in shock and amusement, the magician rounds the corner, and most likely runs through the closest door into lobby number 1. This is where you come in. You turn the corner in a rather lukewarm pursuit, and at that very moment, Trucy runs into lobby number 2. Then, all she had to do was tuck away the amazing Mr. Hat. We need to abbreviate that a little more. Have it be like, the amazing Mr. Hat. Like, Timph. Sir, I only lost sight of him for the briefest of moments. Then I saw that cape. That Gramarye's red cape fluttering like a cape. Astounding, sir! All my days of posing queries and making inquiries and chasing quarries. Wasted. It was as if I could see them melting away like... ice cream come left by the side of the road to die. Or the scattered remains of a messily eaten chocolate parfait. Such sweet sorrows. I'm sorry. I had no idea how much you'd suffered on account of this case. Man, I meet him again, he's like a traffic booth guy. Like one of those road sign people. They just keep demoting him further and further. It's an honor, sir. I've apologized to people many, many times. Sometimes more than once. But this is the first time anyone's ever apologized to me. Actually, about that girl. I'm sort of her guardian now. Is that so? Sir, you should know that I harbor no ill feelings whatsoever in my harbor. I can barely read at this point, but man. Okay. I left it a hidden escape, that's the stone cold truth. Another step on my way from signing the blues to wearing the blues. Did I say signing? Singing. Just another step on my way from singing the blues to wearing the blues. Someday, sir, I'll be standing side by side with the great detective Gumshoe. Guamshoe. You said Guamshoe. Great Detective Guamshoe. Mr. Meekins. It's a free ticket to the show at the Wonder Bar. If you want it. It's an honor, sir. Sir, I can't count the number of things I've had taken from me, sir. But no one's ever given me anything for free. Right? I'll see you in court next time then, sir. I look forward to it. That's 2 down. All eyes were on Zack Gramarye that day in court, until his mysterious disappearance. Now part of the mystery has been revealed, but the magician remained out of sight. It would be 7 years before I met him again. What? I didn't press a button. Oh, I unlocked something, alright. It's good that it marks where I've completed stuff, at the very least. I want to keep going now, or... I think I should call it. I'm starting to wear myself out, and like, vocally, but... Oh, well, I mean, between this and the stream yesterday, that's kind of a given. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Arrowhead, your favorite VTuber Android. My next stream is sometime this week. Keep an eye out for my schedule. Have a lovely morning, day, or evening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And goodbye for now.